TikToker made a video about their experience going on a first date with you.
It says treatment only, and I just met a guy who does just that. If you're new here, welcome to my dating diaries, where I overshare my dating life in New York. This guy slid into my DMs on Instagram saying that my dating diaries are very downtown based and I should have an uptown edition. So let's call this guy Uptown Man. I asked what a night uptown entails, and he said shopping at Hermes and dinner at Daniel. At first I thought he was kidding, but then when he called me a car, I saw that the end location was Hermes on Madison Ave. Once I arrived, I met him inside the store, and I was greeted with champagne, and then we went straight to the shoe section. I tried on the orange sandals and was debating between the brown and white. He preferred the white, so I went with that. He then checked out, and we walked over to Daniel. Uptown Man was an extreme gentleman.
Wait, how much was that shit? This dude sent a fucking car to pick this lady up and then bought her $750 sandals? Be for fucking real. I mean, that's so bad. I hate that. I hate that for two reasons. One, it's just like you're setting the tone that this is a financial transaction. I've talked about this before. Two, that's a dickflation, brother. In Brandon's America, the price of everything is already so goddamn high that now you are literally setting the market rate at $750 for the entry point. Like $750 for a first date before you ever see this woman? Are you out of your mind? You can't do that. You cannot do that. It's fucked up. Manhattan prices or not, dude. That's crazy. Imagine dudes are out there paying $750 for the entry, okay? And you're taking your date out to get dirty water dogs, okay? That's crazy. You're fucked. You're fucked. And she posted this on TikTok. Everyone knows now. Honestly, men like this take women like this out of the dating pool for regular Andes. I mean, listen, I think this is a TikToker anyway. You most likely don't want to be in the dating pool with this lady.
And he told me he
You don't want to be in the dating pool with this lady because she's going to make a TikTok about your date.
Reason princess treatment only. He talked me up like no other and told me I'm so worthy for a 21-year-old. We talked about her.
By the way, I have been to Daniel. It's excellent. Wait, did she say 21-year-old? Yo! Worldly for a 21-year-old? Guys out here doing all this for ran through puss. Hoflation is getting out of control, this guy says. Finding a way to just be like way worse than the person who's just simply making content.
Him inside the store, and I was greeted with champagne, and then we went to
all right, so I got cooked on Daniel.
Extreme gentleman, and he told me he believes in princess treatment only. He talked me up like no other and told me I'm so worthy for a 21-year-old. We talked about our favorite spots in London, Paris, and Saint-Tropez. That's when I told him I'm going to Paris at the end of this week, and he offered to make me reservations while I'm there. He told me that I'm worth so much more than a last-minute reservation at some mid-bar downtown. Also, the food and drinks at Daniel was top tier. It was probably one of the best dinners I've ever had. This was the best part. At the end of dinner, he offered to bring me back to the kitchen to meet the chef at the restaurant. Before going our separate ways, we made plans to see each other once I'm back in town. He then called me a car and texted me immediately after. Uptown Man sets the bar extremely high. Ladies, don't listen to any dusty man when they tell you your standards are too high.
That's crazy. If this is what you think you are going to get from an average dude that's like working at a fucking marketing agency in Chelsea, you're out of your goddamn mind. You should be excited that he's the one straight guy out there that's willing to go on a date that has a fucking job. We need to lower the bar, fellas. Fellas, we got to lower the bar. This is shit you do for your wife on your, decade anniversary. The only part, I responded to the Miyoung questionnaire about like first dates and whatnot, and I was obviously memeing. But the one part that I wasn't memeing about was the Container Store. I've taken a girl out to the Container Store before because I had to go get containers. Okay? It's what you make of the date that makes it fun. The entire principle behind going on a date is that you're trying to see if you guys align. Okay? If you can spend time with one another and enjoy each other's company. It does not matter. The date itself should not be the major player here. The venue itself should not be the major player here at all. You should be. Your personality should be. The personality of the other person and how you mesh. That's what's important. And when you financialize this process, when you make it transactional, you're basically saying like the only thing I got going is the money and the endless supply of it, seemingly endless supply of it that I can give you. Men need to prove they can provide. Okay, dude. What do you mean, dude? What? No, you know what men need to prove? That they can actually hunt. Okay? Men used to hunt. Men used to go out and hunt and be away for a week on end. Okay? After they took down the prey, they would have to chase it down until the prey actually died due to blood loss. That would take weeks at a time sometimes. Men need to also prove that they can carry the elk back to the cave. Okay? After a 3-week-long process of hunting down the elk. This is what men need to do. Men need to prove they can provide. Ooh. Men need show ability to support family. Then again, speaking as a guy here, where you take your date also speaks to your personality. Yeah, if you take your first date to Hermes and then Danielle, then the only thing you're showing is a flex. Is that the only thing you're showing as far as your personality is that you have access. You have money and you have access. Anyway, this is dumb as hell. There is a market for it, though, and I do feel like she is the perfect market for it. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but kind of disrespect, I guess. She seems like she loves this shit. You know what I mean? She seems like she would love to be on a date with a dude who's like 50 years old, who's telling her how worldly she is for the age of 21. So, you know, good on her. Good on her. You know, she's doing it. She's doing the damn thing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a sugar baby. And the thing is, especially if it's like consensual, right? Obviously, especially if it's not like manipulative. And if it's just like a perfectly valid consensual process, it is a reasonable form of sex work. Now, having said that, here's why I think a lot of guys get really, really, really mad at this kind of thing. Okay. And they're like, oh, what the fuck? I can't do this. Like I jokingly talked about like dickflation, like the price of nutting just went up. That's a joke. But what I will say seriously is that this is not someone that you are going to go on a date with and enjoy the company of regardless. That's it. Guys like that are specifically looking for girls like this. This is not for you. You're from the outside watching this and going, oh, I'm mad. It's like, no, dude, that's not for you. This is not for you at all. So the way to view the situation is basically like you look at different cuisines. Maybe you don't like different types of food. You know, maybe you're picky. Maybe you have maybe you're a picky eater. You know, this is a niche and it's not for you. The problem is a lot of men, especially incels, who push themselves further and further away from just like women in general and build up these unrealistic expectations, develop a sense of entitlement about like what kind of girl is supposed to be into them, and then constantly have this air of resentment towards women because like that expectation is never met because of their own personal failings, by the way, for sure. And they desperately look for like societal structural hurdles that have caused them to be lonely, right? Instead of working on themselves to improve their conditions and to improve their mentality, become more confident people, and then and set normal expectations for themselves. Instead of doing all the healthy shit, they do the unhealthy shit. And they basically push themselves further and further away from women. And guess what? You end up thinking all women are like her. Not all women are the same. Okay? The reason why I'm explaining this in like super reductive and super simplistic terms is because I want people to understand the major problem here is generalizing all women as this, when that is not the case. So if we're going to be serious for a moment, that's something to always remember. There's a market for this, and she's found it. If she's not putting on an act, and considering that this is TikTok, she most likely is putting on an act. Everything you see on TikTok is fake. Only wrong I see is her preaching this should be the norm. Yeah, I mean, dude, this is never going to be the norm. That is not the norm. It is her norm in her mind, but she's just memeing. Don't take this seriously. You're deluding yourself if you think that this is how like average people are. You think this won't spread to other Western women? You think this won't be the norm? No, you're right. This is actually the norm. Chatter. Every woman now, like Chatter's in Oklahoma. Okay. Today, when you go and ask a girl out on a date that's taking your intro to psych class, okay, that lady is going to need you to fucking take her ass to the nearest Hermes store, which is probably 500 to 1,000 miles away down in fucking Texas.